She was picking out a turkey for Thanksgiving. Then two armed robbers suddenly burst in. They shot the clerk on the spot. The old lady shrank in the corner in fear. They thought the robbers would leave after taking the money, but they underestimated how cruel the robbers were. Little did the robbers know, the 80-year-old woman they casually killed had 4 sons who were mixed up in gangs. On the day of the funeral, the whole town showed up to mourn voluntarily. They were furious over her death, because she was a well-known kind woman in the area. Even though she never had kids of her own, she spent 30 years helping hundreds of orphans find new families, but 4 of them were too naughty. No family would take them in. She couldn't bear to see them starve on the streets, so she kept those 4 boys and raised them all by herself. The 4 brothers had different skin colors, but they were always as close as real brothers. The hot-headed oldest brother led the 3 others. In just 2 short years, they took over all the local gangs. Even though her sons killed and caused chaos all day, their mother never gave up on them. With her quiet and careful guidance, the 4 brothers finally changed their ways. The oldest quit the life and became a normal man. The second got married and started a family. The third joined the army to serve the country. The fourth picked up his childhood dream and started a rock band. Because of their mother's death, the 4 unrelated brothers came together again, eating the turkey their mother should have bought, with an indescribable bitterness in their hearts. Even though their mother wasn't at the table anymore, they all couldn't help looking at the empty seat. For a moment, their mother's words still echoed in their ears.
Zip up your mouth, Jeremiah. You grow up in a barn? I know bad things happened to you before you came to me. But you're safe now. But take your elbow off the table.
The 4 brothers couldn't accept it, that the woman who always treated them like family was gone just like that, and this inevitable revenge mission officially began under the oldest brother's lead.
Let's go get a pickup game.
Later they went to see the sheriff, but the sheriff only said that at the time of the crime, there were witnesses playing basketball nearby who could prove it was just a random killing during a robbery. They didn't get the information they wanted from the police, so they put their hope in the law firm their mother often visited, hoping to get some clues from the lawyer. But the lawyer said he couldn't help because all he could offer, besides a $400,000 insurance payout, was a box of documents the old lady left them.
Birth certificate. The adoption papers. Henry Ford Hospital. So I am from Detroit.
But while the men were frustrated about not finding the killers, the second brother had a different opinion. He thought finding the killers should be left to the police, and to convince the other 3, he brought up their late mother.
People who did this, they probably from the same shitty-ass streets we from. Mom would have been the first to forgive them, and y'all know that.
Can't all be saints, Jerry.
Can't all be saints, Jerry.
Alright, cool.
Even though the second brother dropped out of the mission, a bartender who owed the old lady a favor told the remaining brothers a useful piece of information. He said there was a group that robbed stores for a living. The oldest brother and the 2 others went back to their old ways, barged into their hideout with guns. The underlings ran for their lives, leaving only the young leader confused and scared. To force him to tell the truth, the oldest poured gasoline all over him, then stuffed a gun cleaning cloth in his mouth. After some intimidation, the young black guy insisted the police were lying, because at the time of the crime, there was no one playing basketball on the court.
Arrest nobody.
How do you know nobody was playing basketball if you weren't there?
Cuz, bitch, police said those people wasn't killed till 11 o'clock.
So what?
So they turned the court lights out at 10.
The oldest saw it was almost 10 o'clock, so he grabbed the young guy, but when they got to the court, the lights were still on. The oldest checked the time again. It had been almost 2 minutes past 10. Thinking he'd been tricked, the oldest lost his temper and was about to drag him aside and tear him apart. Just as the young guy was about to die, the court lights turned off.
Fucking lucky.
Since the young guy wasn't lying, then the only ones who lied were the police. The oldest brother frowned deeply, realizing their mother's death was no simple accident, but he couldn't figure out why anyone would want to kill the kindest woman in the world. Luckily, the 4th brother casually mentioned the store security cameras, giving them a new direction to investigate. The next day, they picked up the second brother and went to the store together. The robbers in the footage already had the money, but they deliberately found their mother hiding in the corner and shot her multiple times. After watching the whole thing, the oldest was sure it wasn't an accident. Seeing how heartbroken the 4 brothers were, the store owner secretly told them the guy who gave the police testimony always came to buy drinks after playing ball and had a very noticeable hairstyle.
You know, bro, like an afro, like Ben Wallace, the basketball player.
Pistons, yes, Ben Wallace.
Okay. Is it on the courts a lot?
On the courts or at the gym?
There was no gang shooting, there was an execution. They set Mom up, they set her up. Come on.
The four rushed into the gym. The oldest stopped the game right away. Once they surrounded him, he pulled out his gun and shouted asking where the Afro guy was. Then in the stands, a boy snuck out. The fourth noticed something was wrong and chased after him. Little Red Cap tried to escape through the back door, but the third brother was waiting there. Under the four brothers' intense pressure, Little Red Cap had to tell the truth. They found out the Afro guy was his cousin. The four brothers went to his house. When he saw the brothers, the Afro guy ran into the elevator, about to lose their target. They had to run up the stairs. When the oldest finally made it to the 6th floor, the guy was already ready. The Afro guy let out 2 vicious dogs that tackled him to the ground at once. The oldest was bitten and couldn't get up. At the last second, the third brother arrived and saved him with a fire extinguisher. But when the two rushed inside, the Afro guy was already outside the window on a rope. The oldest only stuck his head out and got shot at as a warning. The oldest was completely enraged. He grabbed a kitchen knife from the counter and cut the rope. In the freezing snow, the Afro guy broke his leg. Then the brothers walked over slowly.
Give me a name. Where can we find them?
To save his life, he told them who the killers were. Then they followed the clues to a nightclub. 2 killers were hitting on women. The sharp-eyed fourth brother spotted them, but a small unconscious move let the professional killers sense danger. The oldest reached for his gun, but the other side was extremely alert. They drew first and fired wildly, then escaped quickly through the back door. The oldest started the car right away and chased after them with his brothers. On the snow-covered streets, the third brother fired several shots. After blowing out the other car's tires, the oldest saw his chance, hit the gas, and rammed the killer's car over.
Talking about, Bobby?
They dragged the killers out and beat them badly, but even with guns pointed at them, the 2 men stuck to their code and refused to say who was behind it. The oldest didn't waste any more words and shot them dead. They killed the men who murdered their mother, but the trail went cold completely. When the man behind it learned the 2 killers were dead, he flew into a rage. He ordered a full investigation, and to punish his man for bad judgment, made him eat food off the ground like a dog. Meanwhile, an insurance claim form appeared, exposing why the second brother didn't want to investigate their mother's death. Right after the oldest and fourth left the house, an insurance adjuster showed up. The adjuster told the third brother someone had bought a huge insurance policy on the old lady shortly before she died, and the beneficiary was the second brother. The third grew suspicious. He went to talk to the second brother's employees and found out his company was on the edge of bankruptcy, so he quickly told the oldest. After talking it over, the 3 decided to follow the second brother, but they never expected the second was still closely involved with the gang. Putting it all together, the 3 were certain their mother's death had something to do with the second. When he got home, the oldest punched him, yelling that he had no conscience. But facing the accusations, the second felt wronged and fought back immediately. It turned out he bought the insurance because he thought their mother was getting old. The brothers weren't around, and he was about to go bankrupt, so this was the only way to give her some security. And his contact with the gang was because his business crossed their interests, making many customers cancel orders. To keep his company alive, he planned to fix things through a guy named Chubby. To verify the second brother's story, the brothers found Chubby. After confirming he was telling the truth, they not only took back the $20,000 meant for bribes, but also got the name of a city official. They didn't get more information, but it was clear this man named Douglas was connected to their mother's death. So after pouring gasoline on the official's car, the man behind everything was revealed.
Victor Sweet.
But why would Victor, the biggest gang leader in the area, want to kill an old lady? Just as the brothers were confused, Victor's men came for them when a stranger greeted him and threw a snowball in his face. The fourth brother got extremely angry and was about to teach him a lesson. Unexpectedly, the man suddenly stopped. The oldest brother grabbed a shotgun as soon as he heard gunshots and shot the masked man dead. More killers rushed in. Seeing the fourth brother got shot multiple times, but trapped by heavy gunfire, the brothers had to retreat inside. In the middle of the shooting, the second saw a photo of him and his wife shatter. Thinking about his family, the second made a heavy decision. He snuck out the back door, then sped away, leaving the oldest and third behind. Luckily, the 2 were tough enough. They fought until only 1 attacker was left, but after the fierce fight, their guns were out of bullets. The fourth was still screaming for help. The oldest didn't have time to think, grabbed a brick and charged out. He threw punch after punch, letting out all his anger. But the 2 brothers didn't expect there was still a driver left. Just as he was about to run them over, the second brother came back with a change of heart and saved them. But when everything calmed down, the fourth brother didn't make it. The brothers were devastated. Even the oldest asked why the good-looking ones always die first. Furious, he picked up a gun and pressed it to the driver's head.
Was that you, Victor Sweet?
Yeah, I'm sweet.
Thank God. Thank God. You killed my mother and my little brother, you motherfucker. Thank Victor Sweet.
When the sheriff arrived at the scene, they were still furious over their brother's death, but when they found out Victor sent the men to kill them, the sheriff finally revealed the truth. It turned out their mother knew the second was being harassed by the gang. To keep her son from getting hurt, she gathered evidence against Victor, and the day before she died, the old lady went to the police station to report him. The thing that got her killed was that the cop who talked to her leaked the information, but when the brothers pressed for answers, the sheriff stopped them, because dealing with a corrupt cop like that had to be done by him as sheriff. He'd actually been working on the old lady's case all along, trying to find the truth for this wonderful woman, until he checked the security footage and saw his own deputy was the one who spoke to her. A 1-hour interview, but was only recorded as a few minutes. Combined with Victor attacking the 4 brothers, he was almost sure his deputy was working with the gang, so he found the deputy playing pool and asked him again how long the interview lasted. When the deputy insisted it was only 5 minutes, the sheriff confronted him.
Partner, I think your stick is crooked.
I think it's alright.
And the weight is off.
Worked pretty good for me.
You sure?
Yeah.
You was a dirty cop. Give me a badge. See, I hate dirty cops.
Seeing the sheriff take his badge, the deputy limped after him quickly, thinking he wanted to explain, but the man was completely crazy.
Officer down! Green's been shot! In the alleyway, behind John R. and 7 Mile. Suspects and 2 young black males heading east on foot. Request backup immediately.
At the sheriff's funeral, the deputy acted extremely sad. Only the 3 brothers standing at their mother and brother's graves knew it was all an act, but even as things got more dangerous, it didn't stop their desire for revenge. To make the hidden men pay, they made a 2-part plan. On one side, the second brother acted as bait, found one of Victor's men, said he wanted to pay for peace, then took out $400,000 in cash to meet Victor in person. On the other side, the third brother paid off a chubby guy who pretended to sell chocolate at the dirty cop's house while he snuck inside and restrained the dirty cop with plastic wrap. But at the last moment before getting revenge, the third brother untied him, then held a gun to his head, forcing him to admit his crimes. But before the dirty cop could confess, loud sirens blared outside.
You hear that? You know what that is? That's a damn beautiful sound. Those are my boys coming. It's not looking good for you, homeboy.
We'll see if they steal your boys after they find out you killed your partner Green, homeboy.
I killed my partner. I could kill the whole damn police department if you were the only witness. They'd probably just promote me to chief. You're one of the Mercer brothers. Brother, no cop in the world's gonna believe your word over mine. Sorry.
You know what? You're probably right. Other than the ones I got outside right now in the van, listening to every bit of our conversation. Brother.
You're lying.
Afraid not.
But this was all part of the third brother's plan. The police arrived so fast because his wife called them herself. He didn't even have a hidden microphone, and the gun only had blanks. Then he pretended to lower his guard, letting the dirty cop take control. Thinking he was exposed, the dirty cop not only admitted killing the sheriff, but also tried to use him as a hostage to negotiate with police. After firing 2 blanks, a hidden sniper shot him. Just like that, the third brother used the police to get justice. Feeling relieved, he started worrying about his 2 brothers. Sure enough, as soon as the second arrived at the meeting spot, he saw Victor's men already had a grave dug for him. Victor counted the cash, then showed his arrogant face, but when he heard they were going to double-cross him, the second wasn't scared at all, because the 400,000 wasn't for Victor, it was to buy off his men. These men had been oppressed by Victor for years, and hated their cruel boss. Now they could get a share of the money, so they all turned against him. Just then, a figure walked through the snow. It was the oldest brother. He was going to kill the killer with his own hands. Filled with revenge, he threw punch after punch, until he beat the man to death, then dumped the body in the icy lake, finally ending the revenge. Back in the town, they fixed up their mother's house, adopted homeless orphans, and continued the work she started. This is a story of revenge, but it fully shows the true meaning of love. Several brothers with no blood relation and different skin colors stuck together, even risking their lives to avenge their mother, all because when they were homeless, a kind woman took them in without hesitation. When they went down the wrong path, she guided them out with endless patience. Not everyone is a saint, but good people shouldn't be bullied by evil men.
Think about it.